Hello friends, Electronics Kannada YouTube channel ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. In this video, let us solve BMRCL maintenance paper which was conducted in the year 2019. In this video, I am going to solve question number 1 to question number 25. Moving on to the first question, what they have given is the Nyquist criteria of a signal in samples per second. First option ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ F max, second option 2 times of F max, third option 1 divided by F max, and the fourth option is 1 divided by 2 times of F max. So F max ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ನನ್ನ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಗಂಟೆ ವೇರಿ ಇದೆ 0 to 10 ಕಿಲೋ ಹರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಸೊ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು 10 ಕಿಲೋ ಹರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ಸ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡೋ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ 3 ವೇರಿಯಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಏನು? ಅಂಡರ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಲಿಂಗ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ Nyquist criteria or Nyquist sampling, and the third one is oversampling. In undersampling, it will be less than 2 times of highest frequency component. In the case of Nyquist criteria, it will be 2 times of the highest frequency component. And in the case of oversampling, in birthday, it is greater than 2 times of 10 kilo. What is greater than? It is sampling frequency. So undersampling, how I am going to define? The sampling frequency will be less than 2 times of the highest frequency component of the message signal. In the case of Nyquist criteria, it will be 2 times of the highest frequency component of the message signal. Option B is going to follow. Moving on to the second question, ಏನಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ sin of 90 minus theta. We know that sin of 90 minus theta will be cos theta into, again one more cos theta ಇದೆ. Next, cos of 90 minus theta will be sin theta. This is simple trigonometric based question they are asking, right? So we are getting cos square theta plus sin square theta. What is cos square theta plus sin square theta? Which is equals to 1. Similarly, you should have an idea that secant square theta minus tan square theta, which is equals to 1. And also cosecant square theta minus cot square theta, which is equals to 1. Right? ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ವೇಸ್ನು ನೀವು ಜ್ಞಾಪಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅವ್ರು ಬರೀ ಸೈನ್ ಹತ್ರ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಈವನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸೀಕೆಂಟ್ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಕೊಸಿಕೆಂಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್. ಸೊ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಏನಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ ಈಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. Moving on to the third question, what they have given is the average of 3 numbers. Let me consider ಯಾವ ನಂಬರ್ A, B, C. ಸೊ 3 ನಂಬರ್ದು ಆವ್ರೇಜ್ ನನಗೆ ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? 17 ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐ ರೈಟ್ A plus B plus C ಹೋಲ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಎಷ್ಟು ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ? 3 ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರಿಟನ್ 3 ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ಟು 17. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಐ ರೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ A plus B plus C, which is equals to 17 times of 3, which is 51. So let me name it as equation 1. Next, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? And that of first two are 16. So A plus B whole divided by 2, which is equals to 16. That means what? A plus B, which is 2 times of 16, which is 32. So equate in this. What I am going to get? A plus B, nothing but 32 plus C, which is equals to 51. So what is the value of C I am going to get? 19. So ಅದನ್ನೇ ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. What is the value of third number? Third number ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ? 19. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಆಪ್ಷನ್ C is correct. Fourth option, unit of current. So it's a basic question what they are asking. Unit of current is ampere. In short, they are writing it as AMPS, right? Units ಬರೆಯೋ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲೆಟರ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಬರೆದ್ರೆ ನೋ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇಟ್, ಅಥವಾ ನಾನು ಇದರ ಎ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಬರಿಬೋದು, ರೈಟ್? ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವೋಲ್ಟೇಜ್ ಈಸ್ ವೋಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ವಿ ಅಂತಾದರೂ ಬರಿಬೋದು. ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಓಮ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇನ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್, ಸಿಂಬಾಲಿಕಲಿ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. Unit of conductance is mho or Siemens. Right? So let us consider what is the unit of force ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಏನಂತ ಬರಿಬೋದು? ನ್ಯೂಟನ್ ಅಂತ ಬರೀತೀರಾ. NEWTON. ಏನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಎನ್ ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬೇಕು, ರೈಟ್? If you are writing capital N EWTON, it is wrong. It is wrong, right? So option yavudu barutte? Unit of current is amperes. So option C is going to follow. Fifth question, charge of an electron is negatively charged. Proton positively charged. Neutron neutrally, nothing but it will be having equal number of positive as well as negative charges. So net energy or net ion will be 0, right? Or you can tell it as no charge also. Option B is going to follow. According to Ohm's law, which one is correct? You go through my network analysis paper, idunne nanu stress maadi explain madidini. Ohm's law means what? I is proportional to V. All will be telling that in a conductor, current flowing will be directly proportional to the voltage applied on the ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ at constant temperature and pressure. I am repeating, I is proportional to V, or you can write it as I equals to V divided by R is not the complete Ohm's law. It is one of the form of Ohm's law. In the first video of network analysis, I have already uploaded the concepts with respect to Ohm's law. 9 forms of Ohm's law na neatly explain madidini. That you can find on the I button or even in the description also. So I is equal to V divided by R, athava V is equal to L into di by dt. It is also an Ohm's law. J is equal to sigma E. It is also one of the form of Ohm's law. I is equal to C into dV by dt. In the case of capacitance, adu saha Ohm's law, right? I is equals to V divided by R is not the only form of Ohm's law. I repeat once again. It is one of the form of Ohm's law, right? So now ಯಾವ level ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ, just you think about yourself, right? I is equal to V divided by R, it is one of the form of Ohm's law, right? So option ಯಾವುದು? Option B is going to follow. Don't tell Ohm's law ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ I is equal to V divided by R or I is directly proportional to V. It is one of the form of Ohm's law, that's it, right? Seventh question, two numbers of each 6 ohm resistance are connected in parallel. 6 in parallel with 6, and this entire combination is connected in series with 3 ohm resistor anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. Now look at the things. If 2 equal resistors are connected in parallel, then the net value will be half of it. 3 in series with 3, which will be equals to 6 ohms. Or else just go with the formula 1 divided by Rp, which is equals to 1 divided by R1 plus 1 divided by R2. Resistance in parallel again. Or taking LCM, Rp equals to R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2, right? R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Substitute in this, 6 into 6 divided by 6 plus 6. 6 36 divided by 12, which is 3. So 3 anta barutte, right? A resistance in series agidre, what is the equivalent value, which is R1 plus R2. If you are having n resistance, you are going to write it as R1 plus R2 plus R3 and so on to Rn. So what is the equivalent value you are going to get? 6 ohms. Nothing but which option? Option A is going to follow. In the chemical reaction, the positively charged ion is what? Anion is negatively charged, right? Neutral ion is positive and negative, which are equal in number. So the net effect will be equals to 0. And the cation will be positively charged. Option D is going to follow. The capacity of battery is expressed in amperes hour, right? Option C. Next, which one of the following is used in the case of microcontroller to access external data memory? Accumulator ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, which is used to perform arithmetic and logical operations, right? Program counter, it always points to, right? ಯಾವುದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? A next address to be executed. So option ಯಾವ್ದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? Data pointer means what? It is used to point to the external data memory. So option ಯಾವ್ದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? Option C. Flag registers are used to indicate status. Flag registers are used to indicate the status, right? Next, 11th question. CMOS stands for complementary metal oxide semiconductor, right? BJT, bipolar junction transistor. BiCMOS, see this BiCMOS is a combination of BJT as well as MOSFET. Here gap is not there, right? BiCMOS is a combination of BJT and MOSFET, right? And the MOSFET, metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, right? Next, match the following they are asking. In the first column what they are given is CMOS, BiCMOS, BJT and MOSFET. In the second column what they are given is current gain, high power dissipation, low power dissipation, high input impedance. We know that in the case of CMOS, CMOS will be having what? Low power dissipation. Low power dissipation, right? So A and D. Next, we know that in the case of MOSFET, it will be having high input impedance. It will be having high input impedance, nothing but D, right? So based on this I can tell option A is correct. Option A is correct. And in the case of BJT, we are going to speak with respect to current gain. We are going to speak with respect to current gain, right? That current gain you are going to represent as AI, right? So the current gain parameters you are going to represent as alpha, beta and gamma. Alpha, beta and gamma. How are you going to define this alpha? IC divided by IE. Beta, how you are going to define beta? IC divided by IB. Alpha is IC divided by IE, beta is IC divided by IB. So we are going to get this BiCMOS, which will be having high power dissipation. BiCMOS will be having high power dissipation, right? So option A is going to follow. The important parameters in the case of antenna is directivity, selectivity, impedance and bandwidth, right? See, in the case of antenna, we are very much concerned with respect to directivity and what is one more parameter? A radiation pattern. That entire my signal is emitting in which direction? So that is given by radiation pattern. So option A is going to follow. Option A is going to follow. 13th question ಏನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, all electrical measuring instruments measure average value, RMS value, peak value, instantaneous value. It is going to measure root mean square value. Option ಯಾವುದು? B. In India, the standard frequency of an AC supply is given by ಎಷ್ಟು? 45 Hz? No. 55 Hz? No. 60 Hz in USA and 50 Hz in India. So option ಯಾವುದು? Option B. See, all the questions are very much simple. If you are having a little bit of idea, you can easily crack this maintenance exam, right? See, ನೀವು ITI ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. See, say suppose ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರು ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಓದಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇನಾದ್ರು ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮಾ ಓದಿರ್ತೀರಾ, and then you are applying for maintenance job. So ಅವಾಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸು ಈಸಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ಕೋರಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯೂ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಮೋರ್, right? So the person who have finished just ITI put 100% effort, definitely will clear with the exam, right? 15th question ಏನಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಕ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಬರೆಯೋದಂತ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೆನ್ರಿ, ಆರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ H. ಹರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಫ್ರೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ, ಆರ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್, ರೈಟ್? ಈ ರೀತಿ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. HZ. ಓಮ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ resistance unit like this. And for conductance, it is opposite of resistance ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಕಂಡಕ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಆರ್ ಸೀಮನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಎ is going to follow. 16th question, the power in the case of 3-phase AC circuit is given by root 3 times of VLIL cos theta. See, ಈ ಡೆಫಿನಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಟು ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ, ಡೆಲ್ಟಾ ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನೀವೇನಾದರೂ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ನ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಅನ್ನೋದು ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್, ರೈಟ್. √3 times of VL, nothing but line voltage, IL, nothing but line current into cos of theta, right. So the theta you can take the difference between, in terms of angle you are going to tell what is the angular difference between voltage or current, right. Option C is going to follow. 17th question, the 4 pole, nothing but how many poles are there? 4. It should be an integer only, and the frequency what they are given is 60 Hertz. Alternative will be having a speed how much? We know that in the case of synchronous speed, which is given by 120 into F divided by P, which is equals to 120 into 60 divided by, what is the poles? How many poles are there? 4 poles, which is 1800 RPM, which is 1800 RPM. Now one thing what you have to know is the synchronous speed will be in terms of RPM, nothing but per minute, but the frequency will be what? In terms of second. Don't convert into second and minute, right. Standard units are very very important. 120 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿನಿಟ್ ಅಂತಲೇ ಇರಬೇಕು. ನೀವು ಮಿನಿಟ್ನ ನೀವು ಸೆಕೆಂಡಾಗಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ದಿಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ 120, ರೈಟ್. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಫಾಲೋ. 18th ಕ್ವಶನ್, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ನ ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ರೇಟಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಿಲೋವ್ಯಾಟ್ ಆಂಪಿಯರ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕಿಲೋವ್ಯಾಟ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕಿಲೋವ್ಯಾರ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕಿಲೋವ್ಯಾಟ್ ಅವರ್, ರೈಟ್. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಿಲೋವ್ಯಾಟ್ ಆಂಪಿಯರ್, ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಯಾವ ಆಪ್ಷನ್? ಡಿ. ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಇದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿತ್ತು, ರೈಟ್. ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ನೋ, ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲಿಂಗ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಎಸ್, ಔಟ್ಲೆಟ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಾಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್. ಯಾವುದು ಆಪ್ಷನ್? ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಫಾಲೋ. ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಬಟ್ ಸ್ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್. ಆ ಫಿಲಮೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಬಲ್ಬ್, ಯಾವ ಫಿಲಮೆಂಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಬಲ್ಬಲ್ಲಿ? ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಲ್ಬ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಲಮೆಂಟ್ ಯಾವುದಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಟಂಗ್ಸ್ಟನ್. ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಬೀನ್ ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್, ರೈಟ್. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಫಾಲೋ. ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಬಯಾಸಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಸ್ ಡಸ್ ದ LED ಎಮಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ವಿ ನೋ ದಟ್ LED ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಎಮಿಟ್ ಇನ್ ಆರ್ ಎಮಿಟ್ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಬಯಾಸ್. ನಾನೇನಾದರೂ ಫೋಟೋ ಡಯೋಡ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಫೋಟೋ ಡಯೋಡ್ ಆಪರೇಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ವಾಡ್ರೆಂಟ್. Solar cell will be operating in fourth quadrant. Solar cell will be operating in fourth quadrant. And look at the things. We need to speak with respect to the term responsivity. Responsivity andre enu? All those things I am going to teach once I start with the session. Solar cell alli we should be thorough with the term that is a fill factor. Fill factor, right? So when does the LED work? Right? Under forward bias. Under forward bias. But photodiode will work under reverse bias, or you can tell in third quadrant. In third quadrant. Option A is correct. The scale used in the moving iron instrument is, we know that in the case of permanent magnet moving coil, the scale used is linear scale. The scale used is linear scale. In the case of moving iron, the scale used is non-linear scale. And this electromagnetic moving coil is a combination of PMMC plus MI, right? So this is again non-linear plus linear will be non-linear only, right? So permanent magnet moving coil which is going to make use of a linear scale. Option yav barutte? Option B is correct. 23rd question, it is used for drawing and testing right angles. Right angles means what? Angular difference should be equals to 90 degree. Tri-square will be used. Tri-square will be used in order to measure that exactly 90 degrees is there or not. Table ನೀವೇನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತಂದರೆ 90 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ, ರೈಟ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಟ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂತಂದರೆ ಅಗೈನ್ 90 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸಿ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫರ್ನಿಚರ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್. ಟ್ರೈ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಈವನ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ 90 ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್, ರೈಟ್. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ ಈಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. 24th ಕ್ವಶನ್, ದ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ಮಷೀನ್ಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಬೈ ಯಾವ ಕಲರಿಂದ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕಲರಿಂದ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸಿ. ಓರ್ ಆಫ್ an aluminum is what? Bauxite. It is not galena, it is not cuprite, it is not tinstone. So the ore of aluminum is bauxite. That is option B. So friends, in this video I have solved question number 1 to question number 25. In the next part of the video I am going to solve question number 26 to question number 50. ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇಷ್ಟವಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಒಂದು ಲೈಕ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನಲ್ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನು ಮರಿಬೇಡಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಸಿಗೋಣ ಮುಂದಿನ ವಿಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ.